Hey, beautiful people of the internet, how are you guys doing today? Hopefully great. Welcome back to some Warframe, and in today's video we are going over what are the best arcanes to get from Operation Orphix Venom. Now, before I continue with the video, please spot and click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos, and let's do this. So starting off with our number one list, we have Arcane Energize. You guys guessed it, this arcane by far is the best one in the entire game. Here's why. This arcane is a huge game changer. Basically, you can mod your warframes for negative efficiency and never worry about energy once again. And on top of that, you can combine it with generic, so you'll never ever run out of energy. I highly recommend you guys go and farm this one, because while it is easy to get, prices will be low. You can go and buy them as well if you want to make yourself a lot easier, but make sure to get these arcanes now when the price is low and is easily available to get. Once this operation ends, you basically will be struggling to get once again because of Eidolon hunting. So get yourself an Arcane Energize. You can resell it for between 300 to 1000 platinum or full set. So do that. Moving on to our next arcane, that being Guardian. Now, not too long ago, Arcane Guardian was changed. In fact, it got buffed. Let me tell you what happened. Previously, you would get a percentage of whatever your base default armor was on your warframe. But now you get a base value. Let me explain myself. So now, let's say Arcane Guardian gives you 800 base armor when it gets triggered in-game, and your warframe's base armor is 100. With this arcane triggered along with your warframe, you'll go from 100 armor to 900 armor, depending on how long your Arcane Guardian does last. Now, this particular arcane does go for a really good price, especially when the event has been finished and a few months have gone by. This arcane works really well with tanky frames such as Nidus and Inars and Chroma in some cases, so I really recommend you guys go and get it. Up next on our list is Arcane Grace. Now, me personally, I could not decide whether I should put Arcane Guardian or Arcane Grace first, because given the current state of both these arcanes, they are both equally matched. In fact, they work really well together if you're using a very tanky frame. Specifically, they work well with warframes such as Inaris and Nidus, just because they do not have any shields to begin with and they can easily get their health back. Now, recently, all the arcanes got reworked / nerfed, especially Energize, but Energize still is amazing. Grace, however, only has a cooldown, which I think is a bit of a nuisance, but that does not mean that it is a bad arcane. In fact, if you guys are looking at the list as I speak, you guys will know there are a whole bunch of other arcanes that I did not mention, and I feel they're not that useful. In fact, I feel like they're just there for having them. So Arcane Grace is our third one on our list. I highly recommend you guys get them because they do still make good platinum, especially if you guys get a full set, when this event of course is over and like a few months do go by. So I highly recommend you guys go and grab it now. So before I continue with this list, the arcanes that I mentioned from this point onwards are nowhere near as powerful as the previous three I just mentioned, nor are they as expensive as they are. With that being said, let's move on to our next arcane, that being Arcane Strike. Now, this arcane is okay just because it works well in certain situations. So here's how it works. Once you guys trigger it, what happens is it will boost your melee attack speed. Really good for situations where, let's say you've got a melee weapon, you've dumped a ton of armor onto it, but you do not have a mod slot that can allow you to fit your Berserker or Fury. With Arcane Strike, that fixes your problem, but you'll have to give up either Arcane Guardian, Arcane Grace, and most importantly, Arcane Energize. But I still recommend that you guys still go and get this arcane, because DE is always releasing new content, and some of the old stuff tends to be a lot more powerful when the new content gets released. So I recommend you guys go and get them, because when that happens, you guys can at least resell them, because things do tend to spike when it comes to prices. Coming up next on our list is Arcane Pulse. Now, this particular arcane works the best on Necros, and here's why. So basically, when you pick up a health orb with this arcane equipped, you have a chance to replenish your health. Necros guarantees health orbs when you kill somebody if you've got your number 3 ability active, that being Desecrate. Now, it does also work well with Nezha. That just means that you have to choose between having Arcane Guardian or Arcane Pulse. Both are great choices to have, 100% up to your playstyle. So this arcane works the best if you can get a warframe that guarantees the enemies to drop health orbs. Next on our list is Arcane Aegis and Arcane Barrier. Now, I'm still going to include these arcanes as two individual units, and here's why. when the Arcanes got reworked, what happened was DE removed the ability of the Arcanes stacking together. Here's what I mean. So before you could have two of the exact same Arcanes, for example, two Energizers, and they will stack together. That is no longer the case. But thanks to these two Arcanes still being two individual units, basically you have stacking shield regeneration. But both these Arcanes work a little bit different. So here is how Barrier works. So when you guys take damage to your shield, what happens is Barrier will instantly restore the whole thing. Aegis does the same thing. Instead, what happens is the rate at which you regenerate your shield is a lot better, or is a lot higher. Now, these two Arcanes work the best with Hildren, because Hildren is entirely dependent on her shields. She can't use her abilities, and her shield allows her to survive. So keep that in mind. Still, I recommend you guys still get them. Both these Arcanes, especially Barrier, go for a very good amount of platinum. So make sure to go and farm them. But once again, Energize is still the OG. Let's move on to our next Arcane. And finally, we have Arcane Trickery. Now, this particular Arcane is good for any Warframe that can perform executions and is mainly squishy. So it is the best for Ashe, but you can use it for Inaros. However, Inaros does not need it because he is very, very tanky. But the nice thing about this Arcane is that it is probably the best weapon to use against nullifiers, because when you proc this Arcane, you can go and kill nullifiers with ease. So let me explain to you guys how it works. So when you guys perform a finisher to an enemy and you perform that finisher, what happens is you will go invisible, or you have a chance to go invisible. When that happens, this invisibility can go right through nullifiers, and the nullifier will not know what hit them. All in all, those are the best Arcanes in the entire game. I definitely will be covering the new event, how to get larvas, and a budget build episode on him. I will also be doing another giveaway. I'm trying to do a 1000 platinum giveaway, but expect that sometime January or February. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have for today's video. If you guys liked the video or if it helped you, leave a like. Spot and click the subscribe button for more Warframe videos. I'm make like a banana and split.